Homeless people can be found in any city. Do you often meet homeless people on the way to work or home? Do you pay attention to them? Have you ever wondered why one begging person attracts your attention, yet you can walk past another one without even noticing them? If we turn to psychology, then a person pays attention only to what is really close to him. It could be the shirt the homeless man wore that happens to be your favorite color, or a hat you used to wear when you were a kid, or maybe just some random gesture subconsciously reminded you of a loved one. Usually, our gaze clings to what has already been seen or experienced. The story that happened to Wilma Price from Huntsville, Texas, is proof of these words. She was walking near a Walmart store when her gaze fell upon a homeless man sitting near the entrance with a sign in his hands and a can for money in front of him. Judging by the way the man shivered from the cold, Wilma guessed he had been sitting there for quite some time, but had only received a few coins. Wilma walked past him, and something sparked inside of her, but she could not explain why this man had attracted her attention. She went into the store and began to shop, but she couldn't stop thinking about the man with the sign. So the woman firmly decided to talk to the man when she left the store. About 40 minutes had passed since she began shopping, so she was a little worried he wouldn't be there, but when she left the store, he was still in the same position, huddled from the cold. Wilma approached him and only now read his sign. She normally didn't read these signs as they were typically all the same, need money for medicine, lodging, or food. But this man had a completely different inscription. It read, "My dog is at the knackery, please help." Only then did the woman realize what had caught her attention about this man. The fact is that Wilma Price was the owner of a shelter for dogs, and it was the word dog on this man's sign that attracted her attention. Even though she hadn't actually read the sign, her subconscious mind saw it. Wilma asked him to tell his story. The man's name was Patrick, and he had been involved in a petty theft. For this reason, he was arrested, and his dog was taken to the shelter. Now, if he did not pay $120 in time, the dog would be sent to the knackery for lack of an owner. As he was telling his story, tears began to well in Patrick's eyes. It was obvious how much he missed his dog. Wilma felt very sorry for the man, but she had seen a lot of deceptive actors in her time and did not dare give him such a sum. Instead, she said that if Patrick could prove the truth of his words, she would go with him to the shelter, pay for the dog with her own money, and return the dog to him. But Patrick must also prove his ability to continue to care for the dog in the future. Then Patrick pulled out his backpack and began to pull out its contents. There was a dog bowl, a collar and leash, a bottle of water, and a small treat. Patrick revealed that he had never eaten before his dog in his life. He always fed his pet first, and then would eat whatever remained himself or remain hungry. Wilma was so moved by his words and by what was in Patrick's backpack that she decided not to waste another moment, but immediately go with him to the shelter and pick up his dog. At the shelter, Wilma paid all of the bills for the dog, filled out the necessary paperwork, and Patrick was given his pet. The speed at which they embraced was further proof that they truly loved each other. But the story does not end there. In that moment, Wilma decided to help Patrick get off the street. She saw what a kind heart he had and simply could not walk away. She offered Patrick a job at her shelter. They needed a night watchman who loved animals and would be able to not only guard at night, but also accept surrendered animals and give medicine to the ones that needed it. There would also be a place for Patrick's dog to stay. In return, Wilma promised a good salary for his work and even offered housing, a small house on the territory of the shelter. Patrick could not have expected such a happy turn of events. He was wholeheartedly grateful to this woman that on this cold day, she not only didn't pass him by, but also gave him hope that he would no longer have to steal in order to feed himself and his dog. Yes, Patrick was very lucky that day, in many ways. He was lucky to have written the sign the way he did, otherwise Wilma may not have stopped. And he was lucky to have stuck around while Wilma shopped inside. If things had worked out any other way, they may never have met. Sometimes a lot in our lives can be decided by a chance meeting or a chance act. It begs the question, what would have happened if I had done anything differently? Do you agree? Share your thoughts on this story in the comments. If you enjoyed this story, click on the like button, share it with your friends, subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet, and click on the bell icon so as not to miss the release of new stories on our channel.